points on the board after their win over the Demons. Geelong ruckman Stephen King joins me live in the studio, plus Richmond's Director of Football, Greg Miller. That's White Line Fever, 7:30 Eastern.
Yes, Warren, for the first time right across Australia, AFL's biggest clashes are all going to be in one weekend. It's going to be a ripper.
Yeah, it's all about community spirit. It's about mateship. It's about brotherhood. It's about...
Hey.
Don't miss all the big clashes this Anzac Day weekend.
The stories behind the glory.
Picked up by Buccaneers.
Someone told me to go and to get something out of Tucky's locker one game day. There was something in there. I don't know why I was there, but I opened his locker up and I saw the biggest set of teeth that I've ever seen. I don't know. Guinness should go and measure his teeth. They were the biggest set of false teeth I've ever seen.
Get back to the good old days with KB, Bobby Davis, Tony Shaw and Doug Hawkins. Grumpy Old Men. Exclusive to Fox Footy Channel.
Beautiful autumn day in Melbourne, Easter Monday, and the completion of round 4, and the Tigers in control at half-time. They lead by 20 points, having led by 33 midway through that second term, and what's been a pretty impressive performance this afternoon as we look at the Tigers coming onto the ground, and they've done pretty well, Dakes. They've withstood the challenge from the Saints.
Well, they have. They've kicked well, 14 scoring shots. It's been a high-scoring game, 20 goals in that first half, so I think they've controlled that midfield, the stoppages, the spillages. They've run it well out of defence, and above all else, 8 scorers without Richardson kicking a goal is a good sign. Well, kicking a goal, I should say.
Well, talking about good signs, there is another one for the Tigers. In season 2002, when they won, they were fairly good in terms of their inside 50s. At half-time, they were 23. This afternoon, as you can see, they've got 24. So, Steve, that's a very good sign for them in terms of going into the second half.
Well, no doubt. They are getting the ball inside their 50, but more importantly, they are converting. And as Peter said, they've had a number of scorers up in their forward half. They're not reliant on one particular player, and that's the positive for the Tigers.
It's actually 9 scorers in all for the Tigers.
Let's go down to the boundary line, Christy.
Thanks, Michael. Well, an injury update. First of all, Richmond, and they are saying that Justin Blumfield has actually strained his left thigh quite high up on the leg, actually just below the hip. He came off in the first term, has sat off for, well, until now, icing his leg. They aren't confident that he'll come back onto the game at all. For StKilda, Stephen Lawrence came off, went straight down to the rooms, came back a couple of minutes later, and then they strapped his ankle. He is actually out on the ground now, so there you go. He's right to play, but not such good news for Justin Blumfield. Probably won't take any further part in this game.
Thanks, Christy, and that's bad news for Blumfield as he's just trying to establish himself in this Richmond team.
It is, and Stevie Lawrence has a lot to he'll have to hold Stevie Lawrence up, a terrific player, and certainly his physical approach to his football is so important to Saints in the second half. They're not far away. They've still got improvement to come from about 4 or 5 of their players, so if they can get that, 20 points is not a huge margin.
And Rewalt has lined up in the goal square. Gasper going to him, and that's been the matchup all day, but Rewalt spent most of the time around half forward. Hasn't been in the goal square to date, so interesting move from Thomas.
Burke in the middle as well for the Tigers, so they're looking just for a little bit of the physical grunt.
Burke going with Roden.
And he had the job midway through that second term on Roden. Just the one kick this afternoon for Nathan Burke. Third quarter just about underway. StKilda need an early goal. Brooks gets it down. Thompson scrambles it towards half forward. Brilliantly done by Hamill. Clear, effective possession. Moyle, Harvey needs to use it. Kick towards Rewalt. One out with Gasper. Gasper.
Good mark.
Great mark. And he relieved the pressure for the Tigers.
Always nice to win the first one-on-one contest after the break, the long-term break.
Let's just hope the Saints have improved in inside 50, because at the moment the Tigers in that first half terrific at running the ball out. Coughlin in the middle of the ground. It's been pretty good for the Tigers. 2 goals on the end of his stats. Chaffee, another play with a goal. In the hole, Moyle did well to hold his ground. He'll get the mark or a free. Xavier Clark has to bring that ball back. And one of the areas that they really do need to improve as well is just their run out of defence. Hudson across goal, danger. Unguarded goal square, but Newman will take his time, actually kicks it backwards so they control the football. Cameron, Richardson on his way out, that's where he heads. Clark has to go and does enough just to bring the ball down. Richardson rolls back to him. Gehrig pushed in the end, threw it up. Moyle, Clark across goal, and the Saints, hopefully, they are out of danger.
Peckett got it from Harvey. A couple of loose players inside the centre square. Uses Powell. Moyle wants to give it back to Powell. Runs straight into Andrew Callaway. He's able to barge through. High kick. Rewald and Gasper again. Fist from Gasper. Lawrence at the fork. Coghlan. Great tackle by Thompson. Now a chance for Johnson. Look out. Moyle's on the Mills on the rampage. Kick away now. Jones. Chance for StKilda. Rewald's loose inside attacking 50. Jones couldn't get it to him. And now the Tigers. Cameron looking in fact intent on switching the play, and he does it effectively. Mark taken by Bowden to the half back.
So Bowden will run, has two players in support around him, talking to him, egging him on. He's into half forward. This is a huge run. Does he find someone? Lenny Hayes says no. Lenny Hayes getting back in support. Well done. He can switch them to the inside. No, decides to keep his line. Thompson the target. Bowden will contest. Well done, Bowden, and the boundary wins out.
Two loose players on the dot side of the ground there. Hayes didn't see them.
It was a great chase by Newman on Aussie Jones down here before.
So Fiora, Fleming, Houlihan, Blundfield, as Christie said, may not reappear. Stafford down, quick kick out. Johnson toe pokes into half forward. Oh, fumbling, and Roden. Burke fumbled. Roden took it. Richardson a stat. It's in long. Pettifer pushing. Oh, what a beautiful mark. Can this kid play? And no doubt will become a midfielder in years to come. He'll take a bounce, bob it up, chance for more, has to turn and run, holds his ground and just chips up. Hamill or mark. Aussie Jones is running past it. Hamill to wind up and just move into the pocket. Rewald will come over his head. Gasper made it easier for him. Rogers again to Mock. And handballs. Milne getting... Well, it's pretty frustrated at the moment, young Stephen Milne. It's a minor score. And it's 55-74.
It was lucky not to give away a 50-metre penalty there as you look at the Clark mark. Tigers bring it back into play. Tivendale got it from Chaffee. Uses Coghlan on the City wing. Coghlan needs to use it effectively. Inside attacking 50. Hall, Penny the fist. Ball at ground level. They come in all directions. Hudson taken high. Kick out wide.
Great kick.
It was a great kick. Moyle, look out. Kicks with the right boot. Towards Hamill. Good fish from Callaway. And the Tigers again out of trouble. They've got good run from the back half. Cameron. Kick to half forward is poor. Both sides have got numbers back in their defensive zones, so they're getting it out easily, but difficult to find the target when they go up forward. Gehrig has it for the Saints.
So Gehrig, long the sit. Hamill has to jump. Did in the end actually headbutt it. It's a free. Richmond player Tivendale running straight back at Hamill. So the Saints have it. Outer side between wing and half forward. Game being played by both defences at the moment. So he just chips out. Big ask of Burke. Roden does enough to bring it down. Good pressure. Burke down. Moyle. Aussie Jones has to find someone. Chips up. Gaspar. In the end, loose ball again. Didn't take it. Stevie Milne, don't tell me. Oh, poster. Well, that's what he's capable of. That wasn't far away.
Sensational effort.
And let's hope for everyone watching the game he isn't far away.
Richmond have it. There's Mick Rewalt on the interchange bench. Tivendale has it at fullback. Last 6 free kicks going StKilda's way.
Houlihan at full.
The umpires.
Sorry, Chris. Houlihan at full forward, inside 50, all alone with Xavier Clark.
Newman gets it to Callaway. He thought about going on, decided against it. Now wheels around. Kick on the lead. Richardson. Pitches just in frame. Gehrig keeps his feet and his arms clear, but can't get an effective possession away. Hilton. Now a chance for Houlihan. Cameron inside attacking 50. Snaps from the boundary line and kicks one. Sensational goal of the Tigers. And Steve, that's been the difference. Richmond have kicked those difficult goals and the Saints just haven't been able to get them through.
Yeah, well, you just got Milne here. This is his attempt for goal, which hit the post, but obviously Richmond are using the ball up in the forward line. The footy's actually been red hot this quarter. It's been going from one end to the other, and I guess fortunately for the Tigers, Cameron's able to kick their first of the quarter.
Two goals to Leon Cameron. Danny Frawley still sending the orders out. It's 13 goals, 2 in all for the Tigers. Terrific kicking. Johnson, the Tigers move forward. Cameron will mark. And I don't think distance is a problem for him here. Will Leon wind up 2 goals in the game? And normally a beautiful user. Cameron. He will look for a pass, use of the body, good, well done, Houlihan. Held his ground, Xavier Clark flat-footed, and in the end, Houlihan with the mark.
Well, that was well played by Houlihan. On the one-on-one body size and strength, obviously at this stage of his career, Houlihan's got more strength than Clark, and he was just able to edge him out, hold him underneath the ball, and take this mark.
Has spent times total disposal 6, has kicked the goal. And is known to kick some freakish goals at times. 2 goals it is. It's 14 goals in all, and 2 to Houlihan. Well, they are starting to take a stranglehold. It's a 5-goal lead now. And again, Cameron kicked the last, and on that occasion, the supplier.
Well, the beauty of Cameron here, he didn't rush his kick. He just waited for the right option, and we just see here on screen, Houlihan just held his position at the front and took a lovely mark.
StKilda coaching box, and Grant Thomas and some concerns. The only 2 goals of the third quarter to Richmond. Stafford, again, deftly down, road and up and down like a yo-yo. Hayes keeps his arms clear. Handball straight to Campbell. A real fight here. Free kick, which way will it go? The Tigers, advantage called. Zanta kicks towards Richardson. He marks.
Well, Cameron running across there. He's have a shot, go back. And the best tonic for him when you consider what he's been through in the last couple of weeks with that busted cheekbone.
And it's what he does best, though, Matthew Richardson. When he's on his bike and he's running and he's presenting, he's a very hard player to match up on. And even with the speed Fraser Gehrig possesses, it's still very hard to catch a guy of the size of Matthew Richardson.
And the way the ball was delivered, he loves it out in front so he can run onto it. Don't kick at him. Kick it out in front of him, well out in front, because he has the speed to run the ball down.
Richardson has just had the 1 shot at goal this afternoon, which he converted. This is a more difficult opportunity, as you can see, from right on 50. Dumping drop punt. He's pulled through. 2 goals for Matthew Richardson. Tigers further in front. So Richmond have 3 goals to none in this third term and have extended their half-time break out to 36 points.
And once again, the Tigers getting the ball out of the middle, but a huge test now for the StKilda Footy Club. In a lot of ways, I guess this quarter will tell us where they're at, and with most of their senior players out on the field, it is a huge test for this club.
Well, you know, things are starting to run your way when Matthew Richardson can kick him from just on 50 and from where he kicked it from as well. So just getting better, the Tigers out of the middle. Do they win it again? Tivendale says yes. They're into half forward, inside 50. Richardson over his head. Bounced the favour of Lenny Hayes. StKilda looking to use it. Harvey out wide, has opponent support. Further down is Hamill. That's where he heads. Wasn't a great kick in the end. Stafford was back there, had to beat 2. The Tigers again will win out. Zantuck, good hands. Tivendale in the middle to Campbell. Never mind, Callaway's there. Coughlin through the traffic, ducked 2 tacklers, and then left foots it. Spears at Richardson's in the area. Thompson will take it. Backpedaling Penny. Not sure where he was going, and Tivendale will cut it off. Just far too easy at the moment. Good pressure from the Tigers. Not allowing the Saints time to think, and pick off their options. Cameron starting to come into it in the third quarter. Out wide, Geary right with Richardson this time. Ball will come down. Richo at ground level. Roden out wide. So they're doing it all at the moment. Hilton, Bowden, ducks a tackle. Ducks another one. Deja vu in long. Rogers will have to jump. He's not there. And the Saints will mark. Kaczynski's the boy.
Handball off to Clark. Goddard got some time. Jones in support. Handball. Jones just had to sit and wait. So they had to share it a couple of times before they can get some space. And again, Goddard's used. Kick towards half forward. Good kick. Mark taken by Ball. It's been pretty quiet, Luke Ball. Rewalt provides an option. Kick in his direction, and he dropped it. Jaffe. That was disappointing. Gasper just ducks the head. Handball to no one. Rewalt. Hamill. Where will he go? He's tackled by a couple. They're outnumbering the Saints and Tigers at the 4 of the ball. Close to the line and a boundary throw-in.
Gasper did beautifully.
Well, let's just have a listen because supporters can be fickle and, well, Matthew Richardson's a prime example for the Tigers. Have a listen to this. And that was Matthew Richardson after he kicked that last goal, and the Tiger fans giving him a real hand. Hamill from the bounce. Harvey's tackled by Campbell.
Too high.
Bowden going in crudely.
Yeah.
And he'll get a free kick.
And really uncalled for in the end, Bowden. The Tigers had him all wrapped up.
As we look at it again now...
He was going nowhere.
Yeah, that was just unnecessary from Bowden on Harvey.
Just need to keep their cool, the Tigers. They're on top here. They don't have to do anything silly.
Didn't look as harsh in slow-mo, though.
Very crowded St Kilda forward line. Oh, Harvey gives it straight up to Johnson. Very open forward line in contrast for the Tigers. Penny and Hall. One-out battle. Need to keep their feet. Hall push. He'll soccer. No, he tries to pick it up. Penny equal to the task. Hall goes down and ball over the line.
Gee, thank God that boundary was there.
Well,
wasn't the prettiest football.
Well, that's all he had to do. He had the ball in their side there, 50, get it over the line. He didn't have much support. That was the poor kick there, but he did the right thing, Paul.
So ball and the Tigers with a scoring chance. Penny push, no. Lenny Hayes slides in, took the ball. Clark on his back, trying to drag himself away was Houlihan, wrapped up by two Sainers. And we get a ball up. Montagna. Hasn't spent a lot of time on the ground, so I expect him to be used up in the last quarter. Midfielder has some leg speed. Ball's bounced. Penny took it out of the ruck. Danger dropped it in the end. Houlihan around the body into the air. Chance for Stafford's got it. No call to play on, and that's fair enough. Don't know what Penny was doing.
Inside 50, 4-0 in favour of the Tigers. That's Marks inside 50, so they're really dominating.
Quality certainly has been better for the Tigers. Kane Johnson's in the area. They better watch at the Saints. He's good at these. Stafford pulls his way clear. Pushed, no. And we end up with another ball up.
They've had to work hard here, the St Kilda defenders. There's been 4 or 5 stoppages just in the last minute and a half. Richmond still giving themselves every opportunity to have a shot at goal.
So, type of players Richmond have around the ball. Coughlin, Kane Johnson, Roden, Cameron lurking as well. So Stafford tried to pull it out again. Hutchin to the boundary. It'll stay in Moyle. Oh, through his legs. Lauzanda trying to pick him up. Did beautifully. Drags his way clear. Roden back to Tivendale. Into the air and up. They look for a mark. Campbell's back there. Well done holding his ground, Kaczynski. And the Saints have possession.
Burke, rare touch for the champ. Kick short, that just barely covered 15 metres. Moyle transfers back to Hudson. This is where they need to be careful when they're switching play. They do it effectively this time. Gehrig, run provided by Clark, who's been very good this afternoon. Hayes was a half shepherd. Now he's in trouble. He's in real trouble. Chance for Harvey. Good shepherd from Clark, but he's got nowhere to go, Harvey. Somehow squeezed the kick to Goddard. Chips to Hodgson. He's at half-back. making a real meal of it, though, the Saints. Trying to go forward. Kazitsky. Now a chance for Burt. Baker. Eventually they get inside attacking 50. Rogers and Milne. Rewalt comes up to assist Newman. Little give to Gasper, and the Tigers efficiently get it out of their defensive half again.
So Hutchton sits in behind it, will take a mark and run. Just chips up, looking for a goal, much needed goal at that. Moyle, I don't know how he had that one paid. Saints have it on wing out of side.
Struggling to find options, the Saints. Their system's broken down.
6 goals down at the moment. Rewalt just can't, gets his hands to him. Baker through the traffic, and that is typical because it'll run over the line. He had 2 players, 2 options. Thompson further down, and he missed ball in the end.
Really, their system's broken down. Their pattern of players broken down really due to the Tigers' pressure right over the ground.
So ball to come in. Kaczynski front position, pushes. Hall back towards the boundary. Thompson is there. And Coughlin making sure. We have a boundary throw in again. 2 goals to Mark Coughlin. Robert Harvey off the ground. Game starting to slip at the moment. Hamill up, took it at his feet, wrapped up in the end. Too high. The only thing he didn't get was a kiss from Mark Coughlin on that occasion. Skipper trying to show by example. Terrific second quarter, 3 goals for the game. They have fallen down inside 50. Kaczynski, Baker, did he have it? It'll come down. Coughlin tripped in the end. And no free again. Oh, it's holding the ball. So a little bit unlucky. Saints have it outside 50. Now where do they head? Baker has players in the square. Rewalt will have to fly with a few of them. Oh, Geary! And he ran down there. Richo had front position. Better judgment from Fraser Gehrig, and the Saints should kick a goal.
Well, good play by Fraser Gehrig. He's playing at centre-half back on Matthew Richardson, but here on this occasion he's followed or pushed down to their forward half and was able to take this grab.
Shouldn't have a problem. Saints 8 goals in the game. Gehrig makes it 9. So it's back to 5 goals thanks to Fraser Gehrig, and he is at full forward at the moment. But again, no real method, working hard for their score. All their scoring opportunities at the moment, the Saints.
Great tackle by Baker there on Coughlin.
Saints have had the last 9 marks in the match. Good goal from Gehrig. Well, good goal to the Saints. Fraser Gehrig's been moved to full forward. Hudson, the man, back on Matthew Richardson. Margin 30 points. Saints need a couple of goals before 3/4 time to give themselves any chance, you would think. Hall hacks it out of the centre. Peckett. Now there's a Richmond free kick.
That move with Gehrig going forward has caused Gasper to go to Gehrig, and now Callaway is on Rewalt.
Free kick to Fiora. Kick out wide on the lead. Richardson.
It's a great kick.
Not much Hudson could have done about that.
And that's how he
lead into open space and a comfortable chest mark.
That's how he loves the ball. Any forward, really.
He had great leg speed to make that, to get to that ball, though. We just see the kick perfectly placed by Fiora.
And he has the leg speed to do that. So you don't need to kick it at him. Just kick it right out in front of him. Even if the ball hits the ground, Richardson's, it does give him a chance. Every chance.
Matthew Richardson, you can see just there his right cheekbone still
how far is
a
he
little
gone
swollen,
back?
and there's a good look at how far he has gone back.
He'll have to catch a cab back to kick this thing.
Well, to give him his credit, Hudson's still got about 5 metres to run up to the line, but this is his new kicking action style process. He comes in and he misses.
He missed by 15 metres.
In fact, didn't even register a score. I don't think he'll get the Richo chant now. Dangerous kick in, almost intercepted by Coughlin. Boundary throw in.
Great pressure by the Tigers. They've conceded nothing today, and that's been a real highlight of their game.
But it's a basic rule, Steve. If you're going to kick short, that player must be in the clear, must be able to play on. You can't kick short to a target, and that's what they've done so many times. Poor kick. Chance for the Tigers at the 4. Roden ducking and weaving. Concedes some ground. Tivendale, who's deadly on this left boot from the boundary line. Thumping kick. This time he can't convert. Behind only to the Tigers.
Well, he had a sniff on that occasion. Tivendale, straight at goal. Loves a goal. He's had a pretty good game, and he's well up there at the moment. Ball to come in. Aussie Jones kicks to himself, plays on, then just bangs it into the air. So chance for the Tigers. Rewalt's in the area. That's a big mark, Stafford.
A great mark.
Jump with 2. Lenny Hayes, I think, is hurt back behind the ball. Richardson's in the area. Well, go, Richo. Oh, just dropped it on the way down. And kept his eyes on the ball. And in the end, holding the hammy, too, as he came up. He's showing something, saying he was tripped, possibly.
Look at the replay, he said. I was tripped. I don't think he was. There was no one near him. StKilda captain, quiet in his 3rd term.
So just sitting off the ball here is Penny. Ball's bounce. Richardson comes down. Ball. Powell. Again not finding the line, and he did this time. Chaffee let the ball run. Had he have gone at it, would have stopped it.
We saw Aaron Hamill before on screen. Ty Zantuck doing a terrific job on him in this 3rd quarter.
Fleming back on. Coughlin off for the Tigers. Mark Coughlin will be asked for a big last quarter. Very physical player. So Danny Frawley saving him, possibly. Ball will come in. Baker took it out. Both ruckmen missing it. Left foot again. Against 2. Gasper. Just held Rewald under the ball. Far too easy. Chaffee in support. Can go in the middle. Campbell. That's where he heads. Goddard left his man. Did beautifully, the youngster. Thumped it away. Fiora keeps it in front. Gives himself every opportunity. Peckett says no. Going over the top. Pettiford just jumped on it and was possibly looking for the free. And we have a ball up. So Fiora did well. And Pettiford just diving over the ball, looking for the free, possibly. Ball's bounced. Kaczynski to the boundary. Campbell keeps it in. No, he doesn't. Baker wraps him up. And we will get a ball up right on that boundary. Half-forward Saints into attack. 24 minutes into this 3rd quarter. And it's a 31-point lead.
Not long till 3-quarter time. Saints need one. They trail by 31 points. And so Richmond kicked 3 goals to 1 in his 3rd term after the Saints kicked 3 of the last 4 goals of the 2nd quarter to put themselves back in the match at half-time, only trail by 20 points. Hall working hard, knocks it over the line. So a boundary throw in at half-forward for the Saints. Ray Hall. There's Tim Fleming. Watch that again. Oh, Fleming just putting his head down there. Luke Ball. Fleming scrambles a kick. Only gains about 15 metres and another boundary throw-in. Made his debut last week against the Fremantle Dockers for the Tigers, Tim Fleming. And he was very serviceable. Hall takes it out, scrambles it towards half-forward. Richardson and Hodgson. Ball to the back, Houlihan comes to meet it. Good handball, just in the end a bit too slick for Cameron. Goddard did well. Harvey, props, assesses his options. Sets Jones a challenge. Doesn't get an accommodating bounce. Newman applying the pressure, and he'll get a free kick. Well, technically it was there.
I think he's done a terrific job on Aussie Jones, because a lot of Aussie Jones, even though the stat sheet will show him getting a lot of the ball, he has had it out wide and he's been under pressure a lot of times.
Cameron. Time enough for the Tigers. Kick towards Houlihan. Clark the fist. Oh, brilliantly taken by Fiora. Snap back at goal. He's high to the goal square. Rewalt with the fist. Well played. Concedes behind.
Gasper actually ran inside 50 for the Tigers. He doesn't need to be there, because by him, actually he drags Rewalt down there, and Rewalt becomes pretty much a stopper for for the Saints, and on that occasion he was able to be third man up and thump it through. So Aussie Jones to bring it back. Bowden has to contest against two. Kaczynski, too big, takes a mark. Saints move it on quickly. Chance now. Ball will take it. Slip. Got back up well. Dummies one. Has to kick quickly. Left footer. Not a bad shot. Milne. Oh, just got fingertips to it. Rogers again did enough. He's played a terrific game down there, Matty Rogers.
Great job, Matthew Rogers. Milne just had the 3 possessions for the day. And he's done a terrific job on Stephen Milne. Just in the hard ball contest this quarter, Richmond have won 12 to the StKilda Football Club 4.
So Tivendale's a siren goes for three-quarter time. The lead is 31, and it will be a big ask of the Saints going into the last. Fraser Gehrig will be asked to play his best football. Zantuck started on the bench, but it's 31 points to the Tigers at three-quarter time.
Yes, and I guess the Tigers will be very happy with that quarter, kicking the 3 goals to StKilda 1. Their stars, really. Tivendale has been outstanding. Matthew Richardson that quarter came into the game, but some big work ahead for the StKilda Footy Club. Aaron Hamill there was kept quiet in that quarter by Ty Zantuck, but StKilda really have to regroup and kick the first couple of goals in the 4th quarter.
They certainly do. They trail by 31 points. It's three-quarter time at Telstra Dome.
I've seen the show, so I know it's...
Have you got a veggie patch in your backyard?
Oh, who told you about that? I want to know. That was top secret. But...
Well, I think it's very spiffy. Your head can actually, all the cells in it can actually explode, so don't try that too often.
Yeah, I don't think that would affect the football that much.
Now, I have a neighbour that just lives near me, where Matt and I live.
That'd be wise, your neighbour.
Yeah. But it's a pretty relaxed environment here, so I encourage all the guys to come on.
Living with Footballers, tonight at 9.
Kick on the lead, Richardson. Pitches just in front of Geary, keeps his feet and his arms clear, but can't get an effective possession away. Hilton, now a chance for Houlihan. Cameron inside attacking 50, snaps from the boundary line and kicks one. Sensational goal of the Tigers. Yes, Leon Cameron, great goal from the forward pocket. And as we look at the three-quarter time score, the Tigers by 21 points. And Gaspar getting on top of Nick Riewoldt in that 3rd term. And the star for the Saints in the 3rd quarter was Moyle, who had 9 possessions. Hamill didn't add to his 3-goal tally at the long break. So a very interesting quarter, but really Richmond kicking 3 goals to 1 and really setting them up for what should be a pretty good last quarter for them. Fresh legs for the Tigers.
Yeah, well, we've got plenty of running plays there. Fleming, who spent a bit of time in the 3rd quarter on the bench, but Zantuck did a terrific job on Hamill. Houlihan kicking a goal, and Pettifer and Fiora also potential forwards there.
And Dakes for the Saints, the fresh legs.
Well, Powell's the one that stands out, but I think he's spending too much time in the traffic. I'd like to see him possibly come off a wing. He certainly has leg speed. Goddard, ball was pretty good, so you could even play him in the middle of the ground. He's good with his hands, good with his skills, and he's a pretty smart kid, got a pretty good head on his shoulders considering his inexperience. Montagna, he's had the 1 touch, so has Brooks, so they need to get into the game.
And Christie, the crowd's been very vocal this afternoon.
The crowd has certainly played a big part in this game. I think they've been full of voice. The one part of the crowd that has been the loudest throughout the entire match is the Richmond cheer squad. It almost sounds like you're at a Premier League game with all their singing and shouting, but they're ready to see their team across the line now, that's for sure.
Well, they've certainly done a great job this afternoon. Their team leads by 31 points. Final quarter underway. Kaczynski gets it down. Riewoldt hoists it high towards half-forward. Milne's been quite... Oh, Tivendale showed a lot of courage running back the same way as the football. Chips, Coghlan inside the centre square. Loose player at half-forward is Stafford. Gets to him. Moving it on quickly. Stafford, thumping kick to the goal square. Houlihan, too good, will run in and kick a goal. 3 goals to Houlihan. And, well, Steve, you'd have to think it's beyond St Kilda's reach at the moment.
Well, I thought that the Saints would have had to have kicked the first goal of this quarter to have any chance, and really, that goal by Houlihan really dentons the Saints' hopes. He's actually had quite a bit of influence in this game, Houlihan, but Tivendale, who's got the ball, has played an outstanding game.
Well, it gives you an idea of just how they will go about their last quarter. Tivendale starts it off, ends with Houlihan, good mark, too strong, third goal.
It was interesting, Clark outpointed Pettifer. Frawley made the change during their third quarter, has brought Houlihan on, and just his body size and strength is just a little bit too much for Xavier Clark.
Well, it's no point running to the ball because that's how Clark would love it. So he's playing Clark flat-footed. Coughlin, in again they go. Down at ground level, Houlihan, look out, Sainers. He'll hand off to Roden. Through the traffic, no, dropped it in the end. Baker, not knowing where to. Great smother in the end. Coughlin it was. Richardson kept it in. And, well, we get a breath just to applaud Coughlin. His teammates do also.
I reckon when Danny Frawley looks back on this game, this is the type of things he'll highlight to his players, the pressure that the Tigers have put on their opposition.
So Penny down, Johnson through the traffic to Coughlin from Campbell. Ground level, Penny just dribbles it outside 50. Danger, out of danger for the Saints. They get it on to Thompson through Peckett, and pretty open forward line. It'll run out. Geary comes out to meet it. Took it beautifully onto Hamill, who slipped. Santuck, well done, and holds it up. We get a ball up inside 50. So 2 terrific acts from the Tigers, first being Tivendale from that first bounce, and Santuck on this occasion. Could have got a free as well. So ball up, 3 Sainers flying. So Tigers sitting at ground level. Burke into the air. They need a mark. Stevie Milne's there. Push, no. It'll come down. Chance for Harvey. Unguarded goal square. Outside of the right boot. Minor score. It's 9-10 playing 16-4. 36-point lead.
20 scoring shots to the Tigers, 19 St Kilda. They've been so much more efficient going forward. Rogers, loose player on the wing. Kellaway, he's got a couple of players in support. He ignores that. Cameron making position. Harvey stands close enough to prevent the kick going there, and in the end, the poor kick from Kellaway. Mark taken by Peckett on the City wing. Game just lulling along at the moment. Peckett kicks inside. Oh, good mark taken by Ball. That'll liven it up. He falls heavily, Luke Ball. Handball off. Kick forward from Hayes. Leader mark down there. Oh, Milne marked it. Incredible mark. He was wrestling off the ball. And I don't know whether it was good judgment or just luck, but he just happened to be lying exactly where the ball landed.
And Stevie Milne, who has kicked the goal in his last 30 matches, has yet to kick a goal today. So pretty important that he does snag this one to keep that sequence alive.
Great mark. Comes in from 40, drop punt is a goal. Mills first. So margin back to an even 5 goals, and the Saints would need to kick another couple in a hurry if they're to give themselves any chance in this final term.
And this is the man to do it in the end. Should have got a free, but that's what he should be trying to do, is run Rogers off the line of the ball. He's been running Rogers to the ball, made it easier for the backman to just put the body in, knock it away. That occasion, off the ball, and then just able to take a mark. Back to an even 5 goals. And Stephen Milne has put his hand up first of the game. Maybe more to come out of the middle. This is what they want. Harvey to Milne. Can he mark it? He's got it. He has got it. And the Saints have their tail up. I know it's only been a goal, but better signs so far. And if Milne can kick another goal, his confidence will soar. He has 2 for the game, lining up for 3. And boy, this will bring it back to 24, and we have a game. We have a game. Stevie Milne has kicked 3. So Saints bring it back to 24. And the key to that bit of lead-up was out of the middle. Robert Harvey, the supplier.
Yes, and Stephen Mill, who's kicked 2 goals in less than a minute. He only needs a flicker of hope to ignite his engine, and certainly he might be the spark that the Saints do need.
With 2 goals. Danny Frawley still has a job to do. Finger on the button. 6 minutes played last quarter. It's back to 24, and really when you consider Saints have a lot more improvement. Harvey dropped it, took it out, ball through the traffic. That's what they need. Out to Goddard. The youngsters combining. Stevie Milne takes a look behind him. Couldn't mark it. Moyle tap it out. He's looking for Geary. Can he keep it in? He does. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Stevie Milne, outside right boot. Could have gone straight at it, and I don't think had to kick that boomerang.
And a couple of disappointed StKilda players. All he needed to do was square the ball up. There was Hamill and Luke Ball all on their own, but he's opted to have a shot at goal.
Habits are hard to kill off in the end, Stephen Milne, but we've seen him kick plenty of those.
Tivendale, Zantuck. And the StKilda cheer squad coming to life. Fiora. He's away, loose marking. He's got nowhere to go though, so in the end is forced to go back to Rogers. He uses Kellaway. Good run provided by Newman. Good chase by Moyle. Can't get to him. Newman. Kick towards Houlihan. Almost beats Lawrence. Brilliantly sharp by Chaffee, and misses. Almost missed everything. Scraped it in for a behind.
Houlihan again just holding his ground, just too strong for young Xavier Clark. Spillage to Chaffee, and not able to finish. Long way from home again. Defender has kicked a goal in the game. Geary out wide to Thompson, and has no one to kick to now. Stafford dropping back on that side of the ground at wing off screen. So inboard, that's where he goes. Penny, they'll look to switch, and that's where Penny heads. Back in front of the goal square. Hudson can go to Lawrence, and then StKilda can move. He moves it on long, just over wing. Moyle has to go. Chaffee does too. Well done. Spills over the back. Could be dangerous for the Tigers. Tivendale's wrapped up, and given the benefit of the doubt here, half-forward Saints, we have a ball up.
Great effort by Moyle there. The ball was actually kicked over his head, but he had to run with it and make that contest. Very good effort.
So no space for Tivendale, and we have a ball up.
StKilda leading 6-2 inside 50 in this final term. Hayes wrapped up. Hayes is wrapped up at the bounce.
Just watching off again off camera at centre half forward, Xavier Clark has come down the ground. Now he may be playing as a forward now or further down the ground. Fiora the job there.
Predictably, a boundary throw in.
Stephen Lawrence has gone back onto Houlihan.
Chaffee is a loose player in the defensive 50 for the Tigers.
Goddard going with Leon Cameron.
Stafford, ball to the back. Ends with Conklin. Tivendale. Which way will he go? Kicks it straight now. There's a free kick coming back to StKilda against Conklin for a Shepherd. It'll come to Burke. Been pretty quiet. Nathan Burke, just his 8th disposal. Kick towards Geary. He's got it. Has he? Yes! A little fumble at the end. But Fraser Geary has marked as Kaczynski comes from the ground. Harvey back on. And, well, there's plenty of time if they're good enough, the Saints. They haven't looked like it all day. But Fraser Geary a chance to narrow the margin back to 18 points. Geary. Kicker's on its way. It's closed. Has he squeezed it through? I think he has. No, just missed. Gee, it was close. It was right over the goalpost. Margin, 23 points. Some frustration on the StKilda fans.
Thompson did beautifully. Loose ball. They've lifted. Ball, threw it away. Should have been holding the ball. Roden, Chaffee, Coughlin combined. It's on the full. No. It's on the full. So they have to get it on quickly, Saints.
Next goal so important for the Saints.
Just over 10 minutes last quarter, Penny. Just wind up.
Just as important for the Tigers also, just to stem the flow.
The 2 players back, Richmond, in their defensive 50.
Gehrig has to come. Hamill will jump in the end, ground level again. This is where they've been good, the Tigers. Coughlin takes it to Chaffee, round the corner. Penny will sit back. One hand, took the sting off Houlihan, well done. Boundary, kept it in. Did real well over the top, Bowden. This is a bonus. Oh, took his eyes off the ball, Bowden. Then handballs to Hall. I don't think he was looking for him, Houlihan. Round the corner, Leon Cameron's there. So is Fiora. Clark, you are gone. He was gone.
He had no prior opportunity, though, so good umpiring.
Well, he tried to duck the tackle. He took possession of the football, and in the end, the benefit of the doubt with him.
Have a look at this, Dace. He takes it there. What chance did he have to get rid of it?
Well, what's happened to the perfect tackle in football?
They haven't paid him all day, Dokes.
They haven't paid him for the last 3 years.
I don't think he had much opportunity. Had he tried to handball, would have been out of bounds and would have been deliberate.
Ball through the traffic, well done. To Burke starting to come into the game a little bit. Lawrence speared it. They took a risk. It came off. Lawrence, open territory. Zantuck would like to see this thing go out. It doesn't. Hamill right on him. Stafford will come in. Hamill keeps going and then tripped in the end. It'll come down. Montaigne's there. Montaigne will take this for the Sainers, and there has been a lift. And terrific football from Hamill.
Sensational. Just kept hunting the ball down. We just saw it fall over there, but he created the pressure that StKilda had put on this Tigers line-up in the last 5 to 10 minutes.
So Lee Montaigne with a chance. Has only had one possession. Spent most of the time on the bench. It'll go to the left. And it comes down. Stevie Miller still in. Look out, Tigers. And it was smothered beautifully in the end. Matthew Rogers comes to the rescue of the Tigers. And it's still 23, 12 and a half played.
Let's have a look at this throw. Yeah, a bit harsh on Zantuck, that one. Boundary throw in. Rewalt at the back. Where will it land? Chance for Harvey. Overruns it. Rewalt. Good tackle from Coughlin. Campbell. Oh, look out. He spins and then goes the other direction. He's got a couple of loose players. Johnson drops a single mark. Good tackle from Hayes. Kept in beautifully by Goddard. Scrambles it forward. Just offline. Well, you can't say StKilda have had enormous opportunity. They've just lifted their intensity and they're just not converting at the moment.
Just the pressure they've applied to the Tigers in the last 10 to 15 minutes is outstanding. It's what they've lacked for most of the game up in their forward half. And by doing it, what they've done in the last 10, 15 minutes, they've created opportunities for themselves.
So just over 44,000 here at Telstra Dome. Halfback it is. Well done, Coughlin. And it looks like he came down with cramp.
382. That's a fantastic crowd.
Especially for these two teams. I don't think they've set any records in the last 5 or 6 seasons. Short to Cameron. Tigers holding it up. Still a long way to go. 13 and a half minutes last quarter. Tigers to wind up. Waiting for Stafford to join the party. He's on wing at the moment. That's where he heads, and Stafford will jump. Advantage over the shoulder of Lenny Hayes. Allowed to go on. Fleming will just toe poke it towards the boundary. Lenny Hayes will pick up. Does a jig around one. Not Stafford. In the end, it was Hall. And we get a boundary throw in. So it's just between wing and half forward, medallion side of the ground. Ball to come in. Stafford. Rewalt. Gasper at ground level. Gasper's probably best served sitting back cross half back as a loose man. Hall, a ball, did beautifully to Hamill. Out wide, Milne will see it bounce over the line and over.
That's a great kick from Hamill because Chaffee is loose in StKilda's attacking 50 and he was making ground across, so that was the only option, to go wide towards the boundary line and try and set up a situation where another 50-50 ball from this throw-in.
Luke Ball has been good in close. Chaffee has the job there. Rewalt. Campbell wrapped up in the end. Stephen Baker, terrific game on Wayne Campbell, the Richmond skipper this afternoon. One of the better players for the Saints, Baker.
Ty Zantuck is off the ground. He played on Aaron Hamill most of the third quarter. Hilton is back onto Hamill.
So ball down. Can't be too Larry in this occasion, too high in the end. It's a free on Kane Johnson, so it comes back. Tigers will take it, and pressure for the moment is off.
Kick out wide, Stafford. He's quick to read the free kick and just sneak away from Rewalt. One-on-one all over the ground at the moment. Long kick. Great mark taken by Lawrence. Gives it off quickly, foolishly. Ball has to be good. He's had 4 possessions already in this final quarter, Luke Ball, but he can't get it clear there. And some pretty willing players. Ball at the base of the pack, having words to say, as you can see.
Well, even if that ball had got through from Stevie Lawrence, his teammate would have been in the traffic and under pressure. So there was nothing served by that.
Clangers 9-1 in this final term. Kick towards Gehrig, who's got it again.
Just needs to go back, compose himself, and make sure he slots this one through.
Gee, that was a great mark. There was a couple, particularly Kellaway, hanging all onto Gehrig. And Gehrig was able to stand his ground, protect the ball, and take, in the end, a pretty good chest mark. You can see for yourself.
It looked like a
disappointing finish.
Just looked like a tight kick.
Well, he didn't learn from the last kick. The last kick went to the left, and that one went to the right. It's a terrible kick when you consider there is no pressure. And I suppose a true measure of accuracy is going at goal because the goals don't move.
Newman kicks to Kellaway, which is Gehrig's man. He's able to play on. Target is Hall. Oh, in from the side. Good mark taken by Penny. Now he's played on. He took 1 or 2 steps, and that wasn't a good idea, but StKilda get away with the ball. Look away, handball was too slick for Hamill. Hamill needs to keep his feet. Kick barging his way through. He does, the captain. Well played. Eventually the cavalry arrive and a boundary throw in.
Hamill's carried that sauce about 30 metres without taking possession.
Well, it's just keeping the ball alive as a forward, and that's exactly what he did on that occasion.
Bit of pressure in the Richmond box. Danny Frawley. Rewalt. Gets it down. Gasper, the tackle. Now Hilton. Scrambles it out of the defensive 50. Good mark taken by Thompson. They're not lying down, StKilda.
It's 50. Yes.
50 metres against Bowden.
Oh, too much attention from Bowden.
Now, umpire Kennedy. Now, what's happening?
Oh, they're saying it was touched off the boot earlier. That's why he was tackling him. It was touched off the boot. It's actually...
It's a bounce. He was signaling a free kick. Well, so it's a bounce.
So really the communication lines weren't open originally when that kick went downfield. Or they tried to relay it. The mark was paid, and then the 50-metre paid against him.
Good, sensible umpiring. Hall kicks out of the congestion. Burt, front position. They all overrun it. Baker, hard on top of the football. Fleming goes in hard. Tigerishly, and the bounce on the wing.
Great pressure, and the Saints certainly have lifted. And one of the areas that they've lifted in has certainly been at ground level. They've put themselves in. Kane Johnson just picking himself up. And the sad part of it for a lot of these players, we still have at least 8 or so minutes to go. There it is, 7 minutes to go. Hall down, Roden will follow the boundary and did well to keep it in. Now where do we go? Around Aussie, he says. Bangs it up in the air. Houlihan will come, Rewalt will come across and mark. The Saints have to move it on quickly. Kaczynski's in the middle of the ground. Do they risk it? He moves on to Burke. Kaczynski now can just drift further across the ground. Oh, Baker waited for the ball and got the benefit of the doubt in the end. Bowden was called to get into his back. So a let off for the Saints. Hudson through the corridor. Well, just banging into the air. It was smothered. No time, no space. Fiora, Roden, and now Johnson just chips up. Campbell has a play with a sit on him, Stevie Lawrence. Players keep it in, and we end up with the ball up. So Richmond certainly getting players in behind this ball now, dropping a lot of players back.
We just see the dominance of StKilda here. 11 times they've been inside their 50 to Richmond 4.
So free kick. Hall stood his ground. Kaczynski barreled into him. So Hall will go back. Tigers will just waste a little bit of time. He gestured to kick it across goal. He heads there. Danger. Burke, if he's good enough, gives a good contest. Loose ball. Burke can go to Kaczynski. They go instead to Lawrence. Stevie Milne, that's where they're looking, out in front of Milne, and he's got it. He has got it about 45 from goal. Well, Rogers heads to about 40 from goal. He'll kick from 45, 45-degree angle. Boy, well, let's bring the roof down. It'll bring it back to 16. And Milne with goal number 3, no. He misses in the end. As we head into the 21-minute mark of this last quarter, a reprieve for the Tigers.
Well, they have dominated the play in this last quarter, the Saints, and they've had their opportunities. But just haven't been able to convert.
25 scoring shots to 21 now in favour of St Kilda. They just haven't been able to convert. Kick out wide, looking for Bowden, and he's too far. So boundary throwing.
Just important from the Tigers' point of view that they just man up and just try and slow the game down, just stop the momentum of St Kilda, who are just playing some really good pressure football at the moment.
The other thing, Sauce, I'd like to see Brooks on the ground for the Saints. Put him alongside, let him go in long instead of trying to chip it around, bang it in long, be direct, and have Milne playing at his feet.
Richmond in control. Gasper. Good kick. Hall. No position in the midfield. Just ambles off the mark. Wobbles a kick in towards Stafford, who controlled it brilliantly on the bounce. Still got it. St Kilda going hard through Goddard. A bounce. As we look at Danny Frawley issuing instructions with some aggression, you'd have to say. Rewalt tries to take it out. Big pack of players around the football. Lawrence emerges. Moyle. He's got no one to give it to. Only Richmond players on the wing. He'll need to use it inside and does. Run provided by Hayes. Still no one to give it to. Eventually looks towards half forward. Harvey ran hard towards centre half forward. Geary wants it in the goal square. Milne wants it short. He elects to go out towards Geary. Couldn't take the mark. Kaczynski turns at 25. Needs to snap a goal and misses. He had plenty of time. And St Kilda are just frittering away opportunity after opportunity. Margin back to 20 points.
That kick ended up a torpedo. It started out as a boomerang and floated through the air. So Tivendale, and as you called it, Chriso, reprieve for the Tigers again. In long, underneath the ball, Richardson. Over the back, Newman's there. Pettifer, well done. Just actually knocked it out of his hand was Hamill. Burke to Baker. Hamill goes back in Roden. Don't you just love watching him play? He'll take him on. Third bounce, and he's got it to about 60 from goal. On that left foot, bangs it up. Stafford, Goddard back there. Did beautifully. And if they can go across the ground, has to be good. Kaczynski time. Aussie Jones will run forward to this ball now. Kaczynski over the top to the running Aussie. Can the Saints make something of this? He'll take a bounce and take his time. Inboard he goes, has to be good, it is. Thompson's got it. So St Kilda just retaining. Kaczynski winds up and bangs it in long. Stevie Mills in the area. Callaway does enough. Rogers for the Tigers definitely does enough as he heads to the boundary and finds it.
Good play by Rogers there. Just had to find touch, stem the flow a little bit, allow his fellow defenders to regroup.
Richmond. Long period without scoring. The time is on their side. Hall, little give Fleming. Kick into Hayes. He's desperate, Fleming. There's no two ways about that. Boundary throw-in.
He has been terrific, Fleming. And the stat sheet won't show up a lot of his better work, Sauce, but certainly for just that ability, just as he did on that occasion, well, just throwing the body in.
He produces a contest every time he goes for the ball.
Hall wins it down. Johnson concedes ground. Back to Chaffee. Bowden. Little chip across the ground. Is okay. Tivendale has been very good this afternoon. Great kick onto the chest of Richardson. Matthew Richardson in his return game has kicked a couple of goals. He's been a target for the Tigers. Kick towards Coughlin, back towards Hilton. Tivendale, now Chaffee at half forward. Loose players everywhere. Houlihan. 35 metres from goal, slight angle, and Adam Houlihan a chance to put the final nail in the St Kilda coffin.
Well, it wasn't a great kick into the middle of the ground there. They took a punt, but in the end, the Saints really should have got fist to it and knocked it further in the ground. They really do it. It was 2-on-1, and Richmond still ended up with the football.
Houlihan, who's had a pretty good game, lining up for his fourth. 14 disposals, 5 marks, and has created some problems for that StKilda defence.
2 of those goals came in the third quarter. He came on to the ground midway through that quarter and certainly made an impact. Houlihan. Drop putt is good. Richmond further in front. So you would think now the game beyond StKilda's reach, I should say. 26 points to margin.
Well, it's been the story of the day. StKilda had dominated this game, had a number of shots at goal, where Richmond in this last quarter have only had a handful, having kicked 2 goals, 1 behind this quarter, and this man here on screen slots through his 4th goal.
Stephen Powell looked like he's running in one spot. So it is 26, and for the Saints, time is running pretty low at the moment. Kaczynski up with Hall. No one able to break clear. And we go again with a ball up. Bowden continues to point teammates to opponents. It's been a pretty good game. Saints some waste opportunities in this last quarter. Harvey has certainly lifted in the last quarter. Rewalt chips up. Moyle, they have to be quick with it. Tries to get off his mark, the left footer. He'll wind up. Stephen Milne back in the goal square. Big ask if he goes in the air to him, because Callaway is dropping back. And in the middle of the ground, the Saints go. Now Lawrence will wind up and bangs it in long. Callaway sits back there and will mark. Well, just far too easy.
Pretty tough when Stephen Milne, the marking target up in the goal square, and he's got Anthony Callaway and Rogers opposed to him.
Here's Rogers out wide. Bowden. You'd expect him to just hold this up. No great rush now for the Tigers. The game is in the keeping. Fleming calling for it. Why not? And this is where the Saints probably don't need a man on the mark to try and get Richmond moving forward. But again, time, there is no time in this game. Pettifer, Tivendale, been an excellent player. Goal scorer and possession gatherer took a terrific mark. As the siren goes, there is no more. And the Tigers comfortable winners in the end, even though StKilda came back in that last quarter. It was the Tigers by 26 points.
Well, yes, and the Tigers really from the word go, up until the last quarter, Pete, they did dominate the game. Full credit to the Saints, who did fight the game out in the last quarter. Had they played with that intensity in the last quarter, the Saints, throughout the game, well, I guess they would have had a better show. But you've got to take your hats off to the Tigers. They played 4 consistent quarters and thoroughly deserved the win.
Well, Steve, 2-6 to StKilda in that final term to 2-1, and all day, I mean, 26 scoring shots to 22, so a pretty good performance. But let's get down to Christy Malthouse, who is with Mark Coughlin.
Well, Mark, you ran a marathon today. You kicked 2 goals, cramping by the end there. You certainly gave it your all.
Yeah, you know, we really wanted to make it 3 in a row. It was a tough slog. We knew they'd come back in that second half, and it was just good to get through it.
Happy with your own game?
Yeah, not too bad. I sort of, struggled a bit towards the end, but that's the way it is.
In your last couple of games, you have been pretty outstanding. Have you felt that your confidence and form has lifted this season?
Yeah, look, Danny's just giving me a fair run on the ball, and, I just love playing for Richmond, so that's all I can say, really.
The Saints certainly pushed you in the last term there.
Yeah, they did. Look, Stephen Milne's, we knew he'd be a real danger. We really tried to put pressure on him throughout the whole game. He got away a little bit in the last quarter, but that's just how good a player he is, I guess.
Well done. I'll let you go. Thanks.
Yes, Mark Coughlin was outstanding for the Tigers this afternoon, but they had some pretty good players through the midfield. Greg Tivendale was fantastic. And also Mark Chaffey, who was roaming across half-back, was a strong contributor.
Well, Chappie in the end he kicked a goal and probably had 2 or 3 other opportunities. He certainly set up numerous goals, but you made mention of Tippendale. They kicked goals, and that was one of the features of the game for the Tigers. They set it up in the first half with 12 goals. They ran hard. They put their bodies on the line. They won all those loose type of balls, and above all else in that first half, the feature was that they kicked goals without Richardson. He got through the game, which is another bonus. 3 in a row for the Tigers.
It certainly was. The Tigers by 26 points, a comprehensive win over the Saints this afternoon. We'll be back shortly to review the big match at Telstra Dome.
Tonight on White Line Fever, the Cats finally have points on the board after their win over the Demons. Geelong ruckman Stephen King joins me live in the studio, plus Richmond's Director of Football, Greg Miller. That's White Line Fever, 7:30 Eastern.
Next on Fox Footy Channel, find out what the experts think. Join Gerard Healy, Mike Sheehan and Robert Walls on the couch as they look beyond the final scoreline.
Tigerland, a fighting fury went from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin. Hey, we're skin-headed skin. Hey, we're the humble, never mumble, fight and win. We're from Tigerland. We never weaken till the final sirens come. Like the Tigers of old, we're strong and we're bold, away from Tiger. Yellow and black, away from Tigerland.
The 2003 AFL Premiership season is brought to you by Harvey Norman, Telstra, and the 1.8-litre Nissan Pulsar. Tonight on Fox Footy Channel, Clinton Gribus takes your calls on White Line Fever. Then AFL stars and personalities go head-to-head on our variety quiz show Dropkick. Living with Footballers follows at 9, along with more treasures from the Fox Footy Vault. That's coming up tonight on Fox Footy Channel.
Hi, I'm Nathan Buckley from the Collingwood Football Club, and you're watching Fox Footy Channel.
A great goal to Mark Coughlin as the Tigers rack up their 3rd victory on the trot. Hello and welcome to On the Couch this Easter Monday. Tonight, Peter Swab will join us, but so too will the man voted best on ground, the very same Mark Coughlin. Before we talk to Mark, it's a very happy Easter to everybody watching, and also to you, Woolsey and Mike Shearn. I know, Woolsey, you're a demon on the chocolates. What about yourself, Mike?
Just a demon, forget the chocolates, Jared. Woolsey, the Tigers are 4th. Can you believe it?
Well, they lost the first game. They came under a lot of scrutiny, and then they put 3 wins together, and they're looking the goods. I saw them today. I thought they hit in really hard, but I thought Thursday night's game between Brisbane and Collingwood, the first half, was as good a brand of football as you could wish to see.
Well, we will be talking about that match later on, but time now to address the game that was at Telstra Dome today, where the Tigers have now put 3 wins together to be 4th on the table of the AFL ladder, and who would have believed that some 3 weeks ago. But Mark Coughlin, one of the shining lights of the Tigers, joins us on the couch for the first time. Mark, welcome and congratulations on not only today's form, but you start in AFL footy.
Thanks a lot, Jared. Yeah, it's been a bit of a hectic year, I guess. You know, after the first round, people wrote us off a bit, which is a bit rough, I thought. And, you know, we're just putting away the wins now and looking forward to the year.
Third in the best and fairest last year. You built a pretty fair reputation. I must admit, I didn't recognise your first game up. You've changed your hair colour.
Yeah, it's probably a little blonder than usual. But
you want to be careful. You've got Rory Hilton, a couple of other blondies there. They might start taking the votes from you.
Yeah, well, hopefully they think all the positions I get is all the positions they get that they're thinking I'm getting. So
it works both ways.
Yeah.
Mark, you ran so hard today that you actually cramped in the last quarter. I mean, I think there's probably a bit of hardness in the surface element to it, but it's just the ground you cover. I mean, you are a constant runner, aren't you?
Yeah, probably don't change my speed a lot. Just tend to keep at one pace throughout the whole game. But yeah, it was a little harder out there at Colonial, so I have cramped there previously as well.
Now, you were with Lenny Hayes. I just wondered, what was the instruction? Who went to who at the opening bounce? You to Hayes or Hayes to you?
Me to Hayes. That was the matchup we wanted. He had a pretty good game last week, and we thought a run with roll was needed on him because he's a good player and good in close. So probably me on Lenny, yeah.
Mark, the run of the midfield, I just think it's improving each week. Tivendale, I thought, was in the votes with his game. Yeah. Little Roden's getting plenty of the ball. Fiora's improving. And Kane Johnson, of course, you must be delighted to be able to play alongside him.
Yeah, look, he just adds another dimension to our game. You know, in and under, gets the handball out to our outside players like Tiver, who had another good game. So, you know, it's something we've really needed, and is, like I said, add another dimension to our game.
There's never a discussion about the Tigers without the name of number 12, Richo, coming into the discussion. Yeah. The cheer squad really embraced him today, didn't it? There was a chant about Richo. What does he do for the morale of the team when you know that you missed him last week and he's back this week? Can you sense it before the game that Richo's in and an extra level of excitement?
Look, he really is a leader. I know there's been a bit of media about his sort of bad body language and all that sort of thing, but he really doesn't have a go at you on the field. It's just sort of just how fired up he gets, I guess, and he's, you know, he's good to have out there. There's no doubt about that.
Mark, we just see Richo going back and kicking a couple of goals from set shots. Early in the season, he was criticised for not having any routine. The last couple of games, there's no doubt there's a routine there. Yeah,
look, he's been working pretty hard on that. I don't think he really had a routine, just sort of went back and had a kick, but now he's really focused on that at training. I think he's been working hard with Darren Crocker on that.
What's that say about AFL footy, Mark, where you've got a guy regarded as a star, a bloke who's been a star for a long time, and he hasn't had a routine for goal kicking?
I think it's just his actual routine was not to have a routine, so that's what it was.
That's his routine.
Yeah.
He's now got one, and it looks like it's working, Wolsey. We're focused on it a bit, and he looks a better player.
Yeah, look, you're never too late to learn, you know, never too old to learn. I thought he deserved a lot of credit for getting out there with the fractured cheekbone. Yep. You know, that was obviously sore, and, you know, just showed a lot of courage. Just on the courage and the hardness that Richo displayed, I don't think a season goes past over the last decade or so where take the Flea Wakeman out of it, where the knock on Richmond is that they haven't got a hard enough midfield, and yet right now you appear to be one of the breed coming through that seem to have taken a personal challenge to change that image.
Yeah, look, we've got a few in there now, I think. Everyone's hard in their own way, but you know, I think the last couple of weeks particularly, that's an area that won us the game last week. Yep. In the wet, and you know, I don't think we're lacking in that area.
Mike, Joel Bowden today, I thought he played a really good game. He probably kicked the goal of the game.
He did.
You're one who's been critical of him.
Yeah, not critical of his ability to play the game, Wolsey. Just, I think, body language or intensity, I've thought that it's never been quite as much as it should have. Now, Joel, well, I'm sure, would dispute that. That's the ability to display. I wasn't surprised that he can do that, but I just haven't seen enough of it consistently for someone who came into football and had such a big rap on him early on.
It's just party trick, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he was pretty excited about it, wasn't he? He doesn't usually show that much emotion on the footy field.
No, he doesn't. It was a great goal. I was just standing there watching him for a while there, but...
Well, he knows he's just picked up an Nissan Patrol, perhaps, with goal of the year.
Now, Mark, take us to the last quarter, the early part. It looked from where we were watching that you had the wobbles, that if StKilda had a kick straight, you were going to be really under the acid. Did you sense it out there?
Yeah, I did. Look, StKilda are a good side. We know that. They beat Adelaide at Colonial Stadium, so it just goes to show that they can beat anyone, really. Stephen Milne and Nick Revolt up forward looked quite dangerous, particularly Milne in that last quarter. And a six-goal lead at three-quarter time isn't enough at Colonial or anywhere these days, I don't think.
Looked like you had a set plan, listening to Robert Walls today, that every time Stephen Milne got the ball, he was to be addressed physically.
Yeah, look, he's such a dangerous forward. Just when he gets the ball, he obviously doesn't mind having a look at the goal. So you've just got to get around him and support. Probably one player on him isn't enough. You almost need a few more players getting in there and applying that pressure.
The pressures appeared to push the Saints sideways a lot, Rob.
Yeah, they were indirect. They took the ball wide, and some of their disposal was pretty sloppy. We see some examples of it here. And even Robert Harvey, there were times he surprisingly went wide and mucked up with a few of his kicks. And we see Xavier Clark here, well, he's just being run into a corner. And full credit to the Tigers. Wasn't that terrific tackle there at the end?
Mark, did you feel that you forced them back to go that way because you flooded back, or is their natural style to just try to go to square it and get some room to move?
Yeah, gee, I think they don't mind going short.
That's my opinion.
And when we didn't have possession of the ball, it was just one-on-one. Let's man them up and try to stop them from those easy targets, hitting them up.
Mark, I tipped you in round 1. Since then, I've dropped right off the Tigers. But it just does appear as if round 4, Rob and Mike, has just once again emphasised what a nightmare it has been for various sides. If you just have a look at some of the fluctuations in just 2 weeks of footy. Kangaroos, they drew to the almighty. Last week, they lost by 45 today to Fremantle. Yesterday. Geelong, there's a massive difference there in their performance. Melbourne, they won a handsome victory and then they put in their worst performance. The West Coast, they won by 70 points, lost by 33. The Blues, they couldn't have been worse yesterday and yet they were so impressive last week. Hawthorn, written off last week. This week, an outstanding victory in Freo. Well, they are just an example of, I think, the case in point. And Freo aren't the only chopping box when they come to Melbourne. There's plenty of Melbourne side chopping box when they go to Perth and Adelaide.
Well, I think Freo are a 6-goal better side when they play at home. They've proven that over the last couple of years. I think the other good thing about what we see there, though, is that we're 4 rounds into the season. We haven't got one team that's won every game, and there's not one team that's lost every game. So it's pretty even, and I think that's good for the game.
Now, you're 2 from 2 at Telstra this year. A much better record than you had there last year. Do you enjoy playing there?
I do. Probably not as much as the MCG, I've got to say, but you know, I think with our tall forwards, it does suit our game style a little bit.
I had a call from a bloke this afternoon who was watching the game on telly in Brisbane. Said he had huge difficulty seeing because of the light and shade, and we've had that debate about the roof before. As a player, was today, the brightness of today, did that cause you any problems, or any more than you would have had at the MCG?
Honestly, no, none whatsoever. No.
There were other problems, though, Mike, at Telstra very quickly.
There were, Jared.
It needs to be addressed.
Well, look, I've got some sympathy for the stadium in this context. I mean, that's a sight that none of us wants to see. People standing in a queue to give you their money to get in to watch a game of football. But the problem we have, with nothing on before the main game, I mean, people turn up at 1:15 and 1:30, and you've suddenly got to move 10, 15,000 people into a stadium in a short time. It can't be done when they all need tickets.
I think Ian Collins said at 1:15 there were 10,000 people in the stadium. There ended up being about 44,000 people who watched the game. The sad thing is that who knows how many, but there were plenty who just gave up. We had a couple of callers ring in and say, look, we're going to the casino.
Well, we've got to wrap it up there, but Mark, congratulations. The Tigers are having as good a season as you are, and you're putting it back to back, and that's the most important thing for a young man. Congratulations, and thanks for joining us here on the couch.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks, guys.
Good on you, Mark.
Mark Coughlin, one of the youngsters for the Tigers coming through. We'll go to the break, though, with a youngster for Melbourne, and we'll have a look at the Demons after this.